Yes, it is. Then you'd be among them. They'd talk to you.
Would they? Libby looked dubious.
They're a small company. If you'd let them the rooms in the manor, Ben, it would work very well.
Andrew finished his tonic water and stood up.
I'll leave you to think it over, and see you tonight at Harry's.
What do we think? Asked Libby, when Andrew had left the bar.
It would depend when they want to come, said Ben. We don't want to run into panto time.
And we've got a few one-nighters, said Libby. What about the end of October? Asked Fran. That would coincide with Halloween, just right for Pendle witches. Bloody witches again, said Libby. I've had enough of witches.
They're only fake witches, though, Lib, said Ben. And Fran's right, as long as they don't want to come for too long. We could do the last couple of weeks of October and the first in November. I'm assuming he wants to rehearse down here as well.
Well, we could hardly get them to talk to us if all they were doing was performing, could we? Said Libby. Do you think Hetty will mind having them at the manor?
Of course she won't. But I'm not letting her supply them with food. They can forage for themselves.
I expect Harry will put on special arrangements for them, said Fran. He'll love having a pack of male dancers titterping around. True. Libby finished her half-pint of lager and stood up. Now, I'm going home to read up on the Pendle witches. I saved all the information we found before. Libby and Fran had become entangled with local groups of witches before. In both cases, the so-called rites were little more than a cover for unsavoury activities. I'll go home and toss up with Guy, who's going to drive tonight, said Fran. Stay over, said Libby. You could always get up early to get back and open the shop.
Right, said Ben. I'm going up to the estate office. I'll check the theatre bookings and text Andrew some dates. Then he can get on to his friend Max before we meet this evening.
At 8 o'clock, Libby, Ben, Fran and Guy opened the door of the Pink Geranium, the restaurant owned by Harry Price and Peter Parker and run by Harry as chief patron. Libby's son, Adam, doing duty as a waiter, met them in his long Victorian apron and showed them into the left-hand window where Andrew awaited them on the deep sofa, accompanied, to their surprise, by a very tall man in a very sharp suit. Andrew rose gracefully and took Libby's hand.
This is Max, my dear, he said.
Max Tobin also rose and bent over Libby's hand.
Delighted to meet you,
he said, in a voice like smooth gravel. When introductions had been completed all round, and Adam sent off for drinks, Max spoke again.
Andrew has told me you very kindly made some time available for our witches at your theatre.
He looked at Libby.
And you'll see if you can get anything out of my dancers about why they're unhappy.
I don't promise, said Libby, looking uncomfortable. They won't know me or Fran.
I thought of a secret weapon, said Andrew with a smile. After Ben had sent me the dates and I confirmed them with Max, I called Harry. You said at lunchtime you'd already booked the table, said Ben. But Max said he wanted to come down, so I needed to add to my booking. And it occurred to me that Harry would make an excellent agony uncle.
Andrew beamed round the table.
And I will.
Harry, tall, blonde and slightly raffish, appeared beside them flourishing bottles.
Pete, of course, will be standing guard over me like a bulldog.
He's more Afghan than bulldog, said Libby.
Peter's my cousin, Ben explained to Max, who was looking faintly bewildered, and Harry's partner. In life, dearie, sighed Harry, and in all things. Right, who's having what?
Harry departed with the orders, and Max laughed.
I remember him, of course, he said. We came here after your concert, didn't we?
Andrew smiled.
We did. And that brings us back to why you're bringing Pendle down here. Tell them all about it.
Max picked up his gin and tonic and swirled it absently round the glass.
I suppose it started when I took a group of my boys to see a revival of Matthew Bourne's Swan Lake.
Oh, bliss, said Libby.
What's that? Asked Guy, frowning. Matthew Bourne has a